Hey guys, what is going on? This is Primoz, and today I'm going to show you how you can use my new automated writing tracker. Now, if you're seeing this video on YouTube or somewhere and you don't have access to this tracker, just click the link in the description. You'll read the blog post about it and also get your very own copy of the tracker that you can use to, write more of your own content, to write better content, and to write content more consistently. Okay, so let's look at this tracker. It's one of the tools that I use all the time to track every single aspect of my writing. I also use it with all of my writing clients. I think like 70 or 80% people really love using it. Some people don't, but the majority of people love using it and say like it's one of the best things that they received since working with me. Now, why this writing tracker is so powerful is that it allows you to track every single aspect of your writing and gain insights that you wouldn't gain otherwise. Like you can track how much you've written in a day, in a week. You could even track how much you write on Wednesdays, versus on Fridays. You could figure out how do you write when you're more focused or more energized, and then how your energy levels, impact your focus. You could find your best writing times, and then you could really create the best possible writing routine for yourself. So today I'm going to show you how you can use this tracker. It's very, very easy. It doesn't take much time, and most of it is actually automated. So first of all, this is the writing tracker with some examples already. And here I could just say blog post number 1, blog post number 1, blog post number 1, blog post number 1, blog post number 2. This doesn't make any sort of difference. I just wanted to insert some examples. So you have a couple of columns here. The date, this is very important. If you don't enter the date correctly, you are not going to be able to access the automated features of this tracker, unfortunately. So with this date, we had some stupid issues, but we kind of figured it out. And basically what you have to do is you want to write the dates in the US order, in the US date form, and then it's going to convert them into European and then it's somehow going to track correctly. So what I mean by that is like, if I wanna, you have to write them in the European way, and then it's gonna show them in the US way. So if I wanna, track 3rd of January, I actually have to write 3/1/2019, and it's gonna track it correctly. So this is the 3rd of January. This is what it's supposed to be. Maybe there's a way to mess with this. You could try looking at the format in settings and like just changing this, and maybe it would work differently. But right now this seems to work pretty well, so I wouldn't mess with it unless you want to mess up the tracker. And then again, like if you want to, say 4th of January, like 4/1/19. Okay, a little bit counterintuitive, but it does work and help with the automation. Now, what is crucial is that for every single writing session that you track, you have the correct date, because otherwise the tracking is not going to work. So, for example, if I had like all of this 5, writing sessions in one day, I would just want to make sure that every one of these fields is, the 1st of January. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. Day, this is just for your own personal reference. I like to mark days like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so I can see how much I'm writing, but this will not influence anything. So I would do like, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. This will not influence anything. These are just notes for yourself if you want to have them. Next up, we have sessions. So session means which writing session of the day this is. So if I did 5 writing sessions, I would have 5. If I just did 2 on Monday and then 2 on Tuesday, I would start over with 1, 2, 3. This just helps me give, visual representation of how I'm progressing with my writing on a daily basis. So again, I would change the 2nd of January, 2019. If this would be Tuesday, and I would probably write a note for myself for, okay, this is Tuesday. Okay. Document, this just means like, the blog post that you're writing, or the article, or the sales page, whatever you want to track. You just write the name of it here for your own personal reference, and then you could, use it if you wanted to see or calculate how long it takes you to create a blog post or a different piece of content. Like you could play around with that and, just really see how long the, blog post or sales page takes you to write. So that's that. Next, we have start and end times. So every time how this tracker works is like every time I sit down to write something, I would say like, okay, I'm writing like a blog post about the year of writing. I start the start time, so let's say it's 10:55 a.m. I would say 10:55, and then when I would stop writing, I would, insert basically the finished writing time or the end writing time. So if I stopped writing at, like 12:30, I would insert 12:30. And if I do something like that, as you can see, the time automatically gets calculated. So it tells me, oh, you've written for an hour and 45 minutes. This is all automatic. Other things that I would, track at the beginning, this is when I begin my writing session. I write the start time. I write energy. This means like the energy level on a scale of 1 to 5. How energized do I feel? If I feel super energized, it's going to be a 5. If I feel kind of energized, if I feel energized, if I'm okay, it's 4. If I'm a little bit tired, it's 3. If I'm very tired, it's 2. If I'm that tired, it's a 1. Okay. And then focus means how focused were you throughout the session. So how much did you get into the zone, and so on and so on. And we'll actually cover that at the end of the session. The last thing that you start at the beginning of the session is your workout. So if you're starting a brand new article, your workout is going to be 0. Okay. Then you go right. You come back to this tracker when you finish tracking. And you can always have this tracker bookmarked or just have it open whenever you're writing. I would always have it like bookmarked. Like 4H, this is actually my version of the tracker, but I have it bookmarked right here so I can access it anytime. And you can also set it as a home page in Chrome or something like that. So when you stop writing, you're like, okay, I stopped writing at 12:30. You ask yourself, what was my focus like? Okay, I was super focused. Okay, so it was a 5. And then maybe this was an energy level was 3. And then I wrote, let's say, 2,000 words. And then the cool thing that happens is, like, first of all, you'll have the word count, like how much you've written during this writing session here, and also the words per hour, so you can see how fast you're writing. And then let's say that this was the session on 3rd of January 2019. Okay. Now here's the cool stuff. When you only, on a regular basis, you only need to use this tracker. You only need to insert, whatever you write here. That's all you have to do. But then if you want to, you can mess around with some daily, weekly, and monthly stats. So these stats will basically show you, like, for every day how much you've written. It will, create totals for you. So I'll say, like, oh, on Monday I've written, 997 words. I've written for an hour and 50 minutes. I had 2 writing sessions. My average session length was 37 minutes. My average energy was 3. My average focus was 4. And my average words per hour was 874. On Wednesday, again, like, this was my word count, this was my writing time, I did this many sessions, and so on and so on. So you can start seeing some daily totals, like, just how much you've written on, every single day, and that helps you just keep track of how you're doing. Now, if you want to take things a step further, then you have also the weekly stats. The weekly stats will just combine all of these stats from the days automatically and tell you how much you've written this week. So if I combine all of the data from before, I would say, oh, I've written 5,500 words. My writing time is, 5 hours, 20 minutes. There's 6 sessions. This is the average session length. This is the average energy. This is the average focus. And this was the average words per hour. And you can have that for all 53 weeks of the year. And monthly stats is kind of the same thing. So have the word count for writing time, sessions, session length, average energy, average focus, average words per hour for every single session that you do in a certain month. And then here you also have an annual total. So this is how much you've written this year, how many hours you've spent writing, and how many writing sessions you've had this year. And that's pretty much all that you need. I will say the tracker is not perfect. Some of the data is a little bit rounded up. Like, I know in some cases we have like the average of averages for words per hour rather than the true average. We have a couple of things like that maybe aren't perfect, that will improve in the future. But I think it's good enough. And also with things like monthly stats, you will notice, and weekly stats, the data is not going to be correct until you actually complete the whole month or the whole week. So for example, session length is like super low because it's also tracking the sessions that, the days when you don't have any session length. So it's not perfect, but it gives you a really good rough estimate. And the only data that's maybe not 100% accurate are these averages, whereas like all the word counts, writing times, session totals, all of this is 100% accurate, and you can use it to track all of your writing. So I hope you found this tracker useful, and that you use it to the best of your abilities, and enjoy using it. Take care.